United Across the Globe, where we talk all things Man United. I'm joined by Paddy and Brush, but you know what's coming right now, the intro. Yes, everybody, welcome back to United Across the Globe. And we're here with Paddy and Brush. Guys, how are you doing? I'm pretty sure you're feeling the same as me.
Been better, mate. Been better.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I struggled with it. To be fair, definitely, I was struggling with it, and I had us to win. I thought we'd improved. I thought we were going to give a bit of a strong bearing on the game than we did last year. But I looked at it and went, no, nothing's changed, has it?
No, it kind of brought back reflections, didn't it, of the past. We thought we were on a good roll. We'd won quite a few games in the Premier League before the international break. Everything looked rosy. Getting Man City, though, while they're on form is difficult. But, Paddy, what did you make of the game and your thoughts? Was it just empowering by Man City that Man United were not up for this and they couldn't really do anything with the fact that Pep played the game in the first half and then the second half kind of just let them just have whatever they wanted to do, really? It looked a bit like a bit of a kickabout for them in the second half.
Well, it was a training session, but to be fair, Ten Hag talked about belief, and you're right. From the very start of the first minute, we weren't in the races. It was like we were frightened. We got stuck into any of the players. They then suddenly took over, and we were at 6 and 7s in midfield. Our forwards didn't get anywhere, keep getting the ball away. Sancho was anonymous. Rashford was anonymous. Then our midfield was, lost in space. Our then defence then became completely overrun. Dalot got booked in the first 2 seconds of the game?
Yeah, I think it was like the second minute, Paddy. Exactly. And it was downhill from there on.
Downhill. Then Grealish was on top of him. Malacia, first game, he got overrun. So then you could see, and when the first goal went in, I thought, oh my God, it's going to be a different game than this. So I was shocked at the fact that how we started it, mate. So it was a real eye-opener. And City then really did then go for it, didn't they? They were unstoppable then from them. We never got anywhere. Eriksen lost the man, didn't he? Dalot was wanted to be handcuffed to Grealish for their first half. And I think you could see all sorts of stupidity and buffoonery all around the first half, really. And I thought, oh my God, I got all this wrong on my prediction. So I was shocked, utterly shocked. Well, not shocked. They're a great side, Man City, great manager. I just thought we might have given a better defence given our first few games. But as Paul Scholes said, we haven't played. We've won our games, but we haven't been brilliant. So I should have been a little bit. When I've heard those comments, yeah, he's correct. Haven't been brilliant after the first 2 losses, and then we're in those 3 games where we didn't really play well, but we got through those games. So he's probably right. So bringing it back to there, you're right. He's right.
Yeah, I completely agree with him, Brush, to you as well, and the fact that it was nothing really we could do as soon as the first goal went in, or rather, what you two just both said is the Dalot yellow card. It went downhill from there. What did you make of it, Brush, and your thoughts?
Listen, the warning signs were there in the opening minutes. It was like pinball in the box, wasn't it? When Haaland shot and then that was blocked, fell to De Bruyne, that got a block, and yeah, it was utter shambles. I will say though, all and any preparation for this match went out the window. The postponements really worked against us. It stifled any kind of momentum that we were building. Having those 2 fixtures cancelled and then the international break. I know everyone had the international break, but missing out on those 2 games, I think, really affected us.
It was a whole month, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly that. I mean, Man City are hard to play at any time, but especially given these circumstances, it was always an uphill struggle. Looking at the team sheet beforehand, I can't say I saw too much wrong with it. Obviously, the obvious things that we point out, but we thought probably wouldn't happen. Casemiro, is he ever going to start? Things like that. Eriksen defensively can't do anything. So that the midfield balance was all wrong, and we were completely bypassing the midfield. They absolutely rocked us in that first half. Second half, I know the scoreline it's kind of weird to say that it flattered us at 6-3 because we got absolutely hammered. But yeah, even the goals, they were fortunate because they took their foot off the gas in the second half.
It's a weird thing. You take a 3-0, but the 6-3 still hurts, doesn't it? Because it's so many goals with a defence that we believed for very long that was good. And I know there's a lot of people probably out there going, right, well, Maguire should have been in, but that clearly would have been the same result. It doesn't matter what.
So the one thing we have to take in consideration, I mean, obviously, Eric has to take blame. He got it totally wrong. Tactically, that balance was off in midfield. But listen, even if we played our best team and we had a blinder of a game, like Man City are just, they're in a different hemisphere right now. And that guy they have up front is an absolute machine.
So you're saying the midfield, and I know, Paddy, you were talking about Casemiro, the fact that it doesn't seem to be his signing. Did you want to further elaborate on that?
Yeah, I'm sad to hear. I hope he is his signing. It's not paper talk because Casemiro is world class in my view. Has played for Real Madrid. He was there at the Champions League. And he's better than what we've got in our midfield there. And I'm hoping he's going to bring him on for the next few games. He's playing him Thursday, isn't he? And I hope he does. I hope he admits to his mistake that he made in that midfield. I think if you play you're better players in them sort of games. You know what I mean? You do. I think
absolutely. There's definitely something to be said about form and that. And Scotty did his thing against Arsenal. But in the biggest matches, you want your brightest talents on the field.
Yeah, definitely. And going back to that comment about Maguire, if we played Maguire in there, and I'll go on to Varane in a second, it would have been 10-1.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, because Martinez, everyone talks about his height, but he didn't get done for height really in the game. It wasn't really that sort of game. There wasn't no headers. I don't think Man City scored any headers.
There was perhaps one where had he been a bit taller, he probably could have got ahead to it. That delicious ball in from De Bruyne to Haaland. But yeah, even that's me nitpicking really.
Yeah, it outwitted. But that De Bruyne ball, you're right to brush it. It outwitted. Yeah, was it Varane? And then Delap was obviously Sleeping Beauty at the back.
And Haaland, the boy's a machine. What is there left to say about him?
What did you make, guys? What did you make of Eriksen's performance? I know he's been criticised in the last few days about his performance, but maybe that's because of the position that he was played. He isn't really.
Oh, it's absolutely due to the position, Matt. The one deficiency he has is that he can't do anything defensive. So why we're playing him there, I don't know. Especially with Scotty as well.
Yeah, he should be in the sort of Bruno Fernandes position.
Yeah, he should be further up the field. Casemiro should be in there to provide the cover.
Yeah. See, I always thought Eriksen was a good bench buy. I thought the reason we went for him because it is a free. He can come on, do a job. That's what Man United used to be. We used to have Carricks, Fletchers coming on to finish up, and they could do it at the same.
And that's pretty much was my thoughts on Eriksen when we signed him. I said, as long as we use him as a rotational option, he's a very, very good signing. If we just throw him in at the deep end and expect him to carry us, then we're in big trouble. And I know our fan base like to get carried away, and he has been brilliant. But this isn't prime Eriksen. Prime Eriksen was the one we saw at Tottenham. That is not this.
Yeah, that's very true. And we've got. You're right. We've got. We've got like. How can I just try and describe Eriksen now? He, like you say, he is now and again now, isn't he? So that was what Ten Hag's done. He's gone on the momentum from those previous games with that team, brought that team into this game when it should have been tweaked slightly. And gone, well, no, I've got Man City. How are we going to do it? And I think that's what happened here. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this game was always going to be a measuring stick for where we're at. So this is a big reality check, is what this is.
Yeah.
Can you see any changes maybe when they come to Old Trafford? Do you think?
I certainly hope so.
I really hope so. Yeah, I just definitely want to see us up for it next time, because I think that's what the one thing we were lacking, like you said from the start, was just
you could see, Matt. You could see, Matt, that their heads were gone. Like they went into that game knowing they were inferior. And it's already lost. If you've lost the mental battle, there's no point going out there. We couldn't spring we couldn't put 3 passes together. It was terrible. Rashford, I thought, was terrible. But again, I know he's come back from injury as well. I question his fitness levels. And there's a discussion to be had there as well. If Ten Hag is prepared to play a half-fit Rashford over a fully fit Ronaldo, questions need to be asked there as well.
Yeah, completely agree. I completely agree with that. It was really well put, everybody.
I was going to say, can I just go back to Matt?
Yeah, please.
I was pleased about Anthony, by the way, getting that goal. I thought it was...
Oh, fantastic finish, wasn't it? Something out of nothing.
Brilliant. I think he was wonderful. I think everyone having a go at him for not tracking back. It was his first derby, and also same as Malasia's first derby, so it's a bit baptism of fire. But Anthony, for me, fair play to him. You know, I know Paul Scott talking about him tracking back. No, I don't think so. I think that was wrong. I think give Anthony a couple of more. You know, give him a bit of time. But fair play. He stepped up to the mark, swerved in, got that left goal. I thought that was really like a positive.
What I want to see, yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it was really something out of nothing. That was great. I enjoyed Martial's cameo. I'm glad he didn't get injured. That's always my main concern with him.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Martial at all. No, I'm not.
It's good to see him get some game time anyway, because unfortunately that's all we've got.
Yeah, listen, because of what we've got, you got to work with it, right? So for the time being, if he can stay injury-free, I'm happy. If he can contribute.
I completely agree. Let's read out some comments, then we'll move on to the next topic, because we haven't actually talked about the player, so we will delve into that in a moment's time. Sophia's Football Talk says, big up, mate. Big up to you, Sophia, from Norway, Oslo.
Yeah.
Bobby K, love hearts, bigging up you, mate. Thank you so much for coming in. Chin up, lads. At least you didn't lose to effing Arsenal. That is true. They've only lost 1 game. We are the ones that did that. That's something to be happy about, at least. Mama Flossie wave. Bobby K, hi at Mama Flossie. Hello, Bobby K. Right, moving on then to the next topic, which is the Ronaldo issue. Is there an issue being benched? And I heard quite a lot of pundits saying that if you've got a player like that in your team, he should be playing in those big derby games, because he's been in them before. He knows how it goes, and he would have brought the passion from the start. And that was what we was lacking. Some maybe, I don't know, people that know these sorts of games, basically. And he is someone that does, right, Paddy?
Yeah, it's a big difference. There's a big debate on this. I mean, I was there last year when we played City when they hammered us, and Ronaldo was in the team and didn't really affect anything. But there's a big debate whether or not his experience would have told in this derby, and I do get it, and I think it may have told. It might have been better if he did have played. And Brush probably would be this. I think Brush has the same opinion as me. That I think it would have been better too. I saw the comments about him about not insulting him. I thought that was silly by Ten Hag. I think he was trying to back off there. Got to get a grip of that. But I don't, like I say, you know, you should have played him. I think it's maybe it was another mistake by Ten Hag. He's going to learn from. I don't know.
Yeah, Brush, touch on that a little bit, mate. What do you think?
I mean, for me, it's a thing where, listen, he made a change. He brought on a striker who then got 2 goals. So, you know, it is what it is. In terms of Ronaldo, yeah, there's an argument to be made that he could have played in a game like this, and you use your experience if you've got it. But with Ronaldo, you need to change your style of play to suit him. If you don't cater to his needs, there's no point bringing him on. So that's the other thing with him. So I think with what we're seeing from Ten Hag, he's made it abundantly clear that he's not part of his plans.
Possibly,
yeah. I think that's what it is.
Do you think they should have let him go, though? The fact that they've made him stay...
absolutely. But I don't think that was a Ten Hag decision, Matt. I think that was the higher ups who wanted to sell shirts, who thought even if he's on the bench, we can sell merch.
Madness.
That's why we got to get the Glazers out, right, Paddy?
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's why we got to get the Glazers out.
Well, yeah, we've got to get the Glazers. We're going to get the buffoon hierarchy out there who are completely clueless.
Yeah. Ultimately, that's what all of this is going to come back to. That's what all of this is going to come back to. I think the infuriating thing for us as well, watching that game, is knowing that over the last decade, we've spent more money than that team we played against, but you wouldn't know it.
Exactly. And that
you wouldn't know it.
Yeah. And that I heard that comment. I think that's really important. That the fact that they misspend of what we've got in there, which isn't the quality of Man City.
Yes.
And we've spent more money than them, but they've got better.
And I'll tell you what, Paddy, it pisses me off because recently I've heard comments from John Murto already dampening our expectations going forward in the market, He's told us not to expect similar kind of spending. Don't expect as many arrivals. And it pisses me off because if that's the case, then you need to be very diligent with the business that you do. And we've not been. We've been reckless in our spending.
Yeah.
And
give them all on contracts. Go and give.
And listen, if you've got bottomless pits of money, then that's fine. But if not, then you need to do your due diligence, and we're not doing that. If we're honest, we could have got Anthony done. Anthony's worth half what we paid for him. Let's be honest. Martinez as well. Had we gone in early, had we not wasted time before Arsenal came into the market for him as well, the bidding war wouldn't have happened, and he would have been a lot cheaper. So that's 2 deals right there. Casemiro, because of his age and his experience and what he's won, he doesn't have the luxury of time to bed in. He's 31 in February. We've got like a 2-year window to get the most out of this player.
That was a panic buy, wasn't it? 300
and honestly, my spidey senses are tingling with that one because it's a similar vibe with when Donny arrived. I've seen this happen at Chelsea when Abramovich went and got Shevchenko and Jose didn't want him and didn't use him. All the signs are there. I hope I'm wrong because I do think he's a very good player, but it's concerning.
Yeah, he is good right now. He was the man of the match, I believe, in the Champions League final, which just happened like 4 months ago. You got to remember that, people. And he was on the bench against Man City. He was on the bench.
But when we talk about long-term planning, Matt, like we've basically just funded their rebuild because they went and spent 100 million euros in Tchouaméni. They got about 60, 70 back from this. So their net spend is looking real nice. They've balanced the books and got a player for the next decade. And that's how competent clubs operate. In Camavinga and Tchouaméni, they've set up 2 of the next big 3 for the next decade. So what Casemiro, Kroos, and Modric were, they've got 2 big pieces now for the next 10 years, and they're probably in an ideal position now to go and entice Jude Bellingham next summer.
Well, yeah, Madrid did it right because they got rid of Ronaldo at the right time before this new rule came in, so they didn't have to go over their wages, and they kind of kept it down, didn't they? They had all the players.
It was ridiculous. To have a player for 9 years who leaves the club with more goals than appearances, and you've made a profit on him as well. It's madness.
And also as well, and going back to the issue, Varane for me worries me. Real Madrid, I think possibly there's a part of me says, did they get rid of Varane because this fella's made of glass?
Yeah, because that's another thing, Paddy. Like Madrid don't get rid of players in their prime unless they want to. They get player. You get forced out of that club. We've seen Casillas crying. We've seen, people really. When they're done with you, they're done with you.
I see ya. And also, if Varane's out now, we change the defence. We'll have Lindelof coming in, and all sorts of comedy capers that's going to go on there now for the next. If we have to change this winning defence,
the fixtures are coming thick and fast as well. I had a quick look. There's a game every 4 days or something coming up.
So,
do we know any more about Varane? And is he injured?
Don't know
for quite a while, or do we know anything about that?
I don't know any more than that.
I'm unsure. I'm unsure on what's happening with Rafa.
Yeah,
but it's always concerning when he goes down. He stayed down for quite a while as well.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. I don't know what's happened there. We do need him. I think. I know, like you said as well, he seems to be made of glass. It didn't seem to be too much of a challenge, really. He should have been able to have got through that as a centre back. But
we haven't got quality. We haven't got quality backup, then, have we? We've got Lindelof and Maguire, and then Luke Shaw on the left. He'll come in from Malacia. I mean, we're back to stupidity, comedy capers again, aren't we? Comedy.
We haven't really got a backup for right back.
No, we haven't. Well, Dalot will be. He's useless. Crap.
So, I mean, with the amount of games coming up, I do feel that we need to rotate, and I worry about what we're going to do with Dalot.
We haven't got the squad, the depth of quality in that squad. And we want someone said to me today, top 4. Yeah, top 4. But if we don't get top 4, as you said, with the hierarchy telling we don't want nobody, no, we can't have any more signings, no developments, nothing whatsoever. We're going to end up as mediocre, middle to mid-table. I hope not, because I saw signs, but that's worrying, isn't it? I know you win the Europa League, you get in the Champions League, but I don't know. I don't know. It's
the only thing I will say is that it is still very early days.
Yeah,
it's just the beginning of what Eric is trying to build, and it is going to take time.
Yeah, it's been 5 months. You're right. He's only been 5 months. That's right.
Yeah.
And Guardiola's been in 5 years. So
yeah. This is what his 6th season or something. So that's 6 years and a lot of good investment, I should say. We need to highlight that. It's
exactly. So it brings everything into perspective.
It's the structure's all correct there.
It's just the hierarchy and the ownership that needs to be ejected from the stadium. Yeah,
pushed out. Yeah, exactly. Pushed out indeed, like a bad case of diarrhea that needs to be gone. We're going to be talking about the Europa League. It's a very good segue then. We've got Omonia, which sounds like pneumonia, which, because that's how cold the Europa League is to Man United fans. What do you make of this fixture? We said they were like Greek or Cypriot based club.
They are Cypriot, I believe. I believe they're Cypriot.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on this? We do actually need to win this if we have any chance of getting out of the group stages, because we've already lost one, we've won one, and this is the 3rd game of 6. So we really do need to make sure at the halfway point we're on top.
Yeah, this is an absolute must win. On paper, we should win. Will we is another story entirely based on what we've seen from the Europa League already. Because of the fixtures and how quickly they come in, obviously I would prefer us to concentrate more on Everton. That's the pivotal one. So I expect there to be rotation for this one.
Ronaldo starting maybe, Paddy, as well.
Yeah,
do you think?
Yeah. I think so. I think it's a bit of retribution. A bit of I don't know what the retribution would I use. It's got to be.
Oh, have a go.
Yeah,
Look,
look, I paid a bit of a price for the Man City game. I'm going to change things. He might tweak the team and then bring Casemiro and Ronaldo in and get a win under our belts to sort of get things up there. So I can see a change there, definitely against Omonia of Cyprus, definitely, and be a good run out. And Everton is obviously with the game coming up because they've won the weekend. So we need a tough team and get some goals behind us and get the confidence back because it is miserable at the moment. It really is after that game, yeah.
Brush, I'll throw this to you. I hope you don't mind. It's going to be a crazy one. If Omonia beat us, just to say, you never know.
Yeah.
And
then we lose to Everton.
Oh, jeez.
Would Ten Hag's job be under fire?
It would be ridiculous to entertain that at the moment. I know. You know what? Social media is a dangerous place, Matt.
You know how the business is.
Yeah, social media is a dangerous place. I heard 1 or 2 people saying Eric Ten Hag out yesterday, which I thought was absolute madness. We're strapped in. We're strapped in. You have to trust the process, so to speak, and see where it leads. Way too early for that kind of talk.
I do, but I just wonder whether how, Paddy, you can probably delve in on this as well. The fact that the Glazers we were talking about, they don't really know what they're doing. They don't really know football too well. They might take the same structure as other clubs have done recently and try and get rid of him and try and replace him for someone like who,
Pochettino,
like a Mourinho type, or someone who's
Pochettino, I suppose. Pochettino's available, but I suspect he'll be going to the Villa soon because Gerrard will be losing his job. I think that up here, definitely, that's the feeling. I mean, I hope they don't do that because the Chelsea owners are doing that, and they just hire and fire, don't they? It's the American way. I hope not. They've got to be a long-term longevity with Ten Hag. I doubt it, to be fair. I don't think. But like you say, losing to Omonia and losing to Everton, that'd be cripplers. I mean, Everton won the weekend. Did they beat Southampton? I didn't see the game. So
I think they've got the best defensive record as well, as shocking as that might be.
There you go. So
them and Wolves, right?
They've conceded 7, I think. Because all the big teams this season have conceded a lot, so it's a bit strange.
So
what do you make of the Everton game then, guys? What do you think about this? Like you just said, they're on a bit of high momentum after winning last weekend. Frank Lampard seems to be in a comfortable position right now. He's getting the best out of his players, it seems. He's managed to keep that Gordon as well, which I think will help them this season. Are they a threat? People were like wishing that we had Everton and not Man City, but I don't know. I mean, it is at their ground as well, I believe. No.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Away, another away.
It's not an easy place to go, Goodison, and their defense is looking good. They got Cody and Tarkowski at the back. I quite like that young Patterson. I think he's injured at the moment, though. I don't know if he'll be playing. But yeah, We can't take them lightly, but
I'm
we need a
hoping,
response.
and also defensively, if we don't get that right, if what you call it, if Varane's not injured, they'll have to bring in Maguire, won't he? Maguire's fit. And then Luke Shaw, does he replace Malacia? Does he give Malacia a rest and puts Luke Shaw in?
I guess we'll find out after the Europa game, right, Paddy?
Yeah, you're right. We'll see.
Whoever starts on Thursday, I guess the other one will play on Sunday.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's true. So, but it's, like you say, Everton are a test, aren't they? Look, these other games come. Newcastle, Spurs are coming up. Chelsea's coming up.
Yeah,
we've got real tough games, as you said, Brush, earlier. We look at
that Spurs Chelsea right after each other, and those games are 4 days apart.
Yeah. So but the Everton's a worry, really. I think we've got to get onto winning ways. If we've got to get these players. I still think Anthony's going to come good. He's looking good. He's a confident little lad. But the rest of the players after that game, Casemiro, I want him to now stake a place now. If we can get him going and turn things around, that would be positive.
Yeah, the worrying thing is that when we did see rotation against Sociedad, it was terrible. So it just highlighted how early we are in the process of what Eric's trying to build.
So you think Harry Maguire will play the Europa League, and because Varane's might be out for the weekend's fixture against Everton, that he might play there too, or would you prefer Lindelof?
Oh God.
Rocking a hard place, Matt. Out of the two, I'd say Lindelof, but I'm not happy with either, to be honest.
Lindelof is useless, along with Della. Useless in the useless category. They're in the, I don't know, put them, they're both dreadful, and they play. Seriously, it'll be fun and games for the
with Lindelof, he does have qualities I like, but he's just too standoffish. He's just not aggressive at all.
He's not. Look, how many times have I seen him last season get completely, annihilated in some of the games? He's not the standard of this club. Mourinho said about didn't he admit that when he bought the player, but he hasn't got certain qualities? I went, well, you bought him, didn't you?
Yeah.
So so we're a little bit, and I was thinking, what do we need? We need another central defender, another midfielder.
He's the one that brought in Bailly as well.
Yeah, exactly. But Bailly was made of glass, wasn't he? So it's difficult times, but it's interesting. The selections coming up these next two games will be really, really interesting. But if we go back to playing those same players, oh my God. And we will have to, because it's a squad game, isn't it? These players are in the squad. We can't get rid of them, and we're stuck with them, which is a worry. Then they've got to step up to the mark. I've got no problem players stepping up to the mark and doing well.
Well, that's the thing, Paddy, as well, and Brush. I think because the World Cup's coming up, we are in a weird season where it's going to be halfway through, roughly. So I just kind of think that the players, they have to step up if they want to get their places in the squads. I think it can only be a good thing for us because there are many players that could still make it. I mean, imagine if Martial has like a phenomenal 4 weeks and then gets into the French squad. It's never going to happen. But just, even he's probably thinking, I've got 2 goals now. If I carry on, if I can do really well, I might get in.
Listen, with him, we're at a point where it's baby steps.
I know. I used a bad example. I was just
if he can just make it to the end of the week without getting injured.
Lindelof, for example, Sweden going to the World Cup, he might want to try and get a place like this. Players are going to bring a bit more oomph in training.
They could do what they want. They could do anything. They still don't have that quality. They could have
no.
And also as well for England, Luke Shaw and Luke Shaw and Maguire don't. They could be benched. They could be playing in the reserves tomorrow, and Southgate will still pick them. You know what I mean? That's the stupidity of it all, really. So Luke Shaw could sort of have the worst game ever. Go, no, but still my left back, and Maguire's one of the best captains in the world according to Southgate. Right?
Well, Southgate puts Luke Shaw ahead of Trent Alexander-Arnold, doesn't he?
Oh, I know.
You know that?
I know. And Trent's had a difficulty. He's had a few bad games, Trent, hasn't he? Though, but he's still qualified.
Yeah. He's been atrocious this season. I don't know what's happened to him.
Well, Jurgen Klopp said he's a really great right wing back. He's just not that great at defending. And he did come out and say that pretty much. He's not the best defender, but he's quick
going football. Now, static Luke Shaw, he just fumbles around on the left, doesn't he? And then moves now and again and gets down. And he's not going to really. But as Malacia, bless him, is still very inexperienced, but he's quick and gets in there. It just needs time, I think, to get.
Yeah, that's the thing, Paddy. Like with Malacia, I mean, he's had 2 senior seasons of first team football under his belt, and that was in Holland. So, this is a huge, huge step up for the lad. And there will be times where, we're going to have to rely on Shaw coming in and filling in for a little bit.
Well, there you go. And then you're going to see all sorts of get big games coming up.
Yeah.
My God, you're going to see some real haphazard results.
Possibly to ask one more question for you guys before we end up, because we have literally run through them very well, the topics. But I wanted to talk about De Gea. Do you see that he's okay where he is at the moment? Because a lot of people were giving him stick for the Man City result, but I don't necessarily agree that was his issue. And I think
I mean, it's a situation where what do the people want? Are they really calling for Dubravka? Are they saying that Dubravka's better because he's not?
Not no. People will go, why did we get rid of Henderson on a loan? And then
I mean, have you seen how many goals he's been conceding?
Henderson's gone, mate. Henderson was not the quality of Man United. He's not in the quality of De Gea or Oblak.
I'll tell you what. Hendo really shot himself in the foot with that interview he gave, where he said, "Oh, I'm glad Ten Hag didn't see me train, or he would have kept me." Well, yeah, that's come back to haunt him now.
Delusional. That player's deluded a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
It was a delusional thing that he did say, because I don't think it's going to help him now, is it?
Nah.
He'll probably be sold by Man United. But what do you make of De Gea? I'm okay with him still being in between sticks.
Yeah, I am, because it just needs the defense to get better, and it has been getting slightly better the last few games.
Yeah,
but there is going to be a question of De Gea. Definitely, I think we will have to replace him at some point. Definitely, but I don't know. But there is a question mark on him, unfortunately, and there is definitely. I know.
Yeah, for the time being, Matt, I say we keep him, but come the end of the season, there's a conversation to be had. I personally would just let him run down his contract and let him leave. Because he is the most expensive keeper in the world. He's on 375 grand a week, which is ridiculous. And yeah, it's kind of clear to see stylistically he's probably not what Eric's looking for anyway. So it would be silly to keep him on, especially if he's on anything close to the current wages. It makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense. It's just a little bit of a shame, I think, because he's been there for, I think nearly 12 years now.
Yeah, but he's been a wonderful, wonderful servant. We were blessed to have him at a time when we really shouldn't have had him. We had no right to have him, and he was our man of the. Well, he was a player of the season for many years.
And he's won everything. He's won everything apart from the Champions League.
Listen, and due to that bloody fax machine, we robbed him of a few Champions League titles as well.
Exactly. And also, Jan Oblak's been muted to come, but Jan Oblak hasn't been the quality I thought.
He's not been great over the last year and a half.
No, what's going on there?
I think we need to go younger. We need the scouting department to do their thing and look at someone.
Get them out of bed and start doing some proper scouting. Definitely.
Yeah, that's what they need to do.
But are the Glazers going to let them? Are the Glazers going to do that?
And this is what it comes down to, isn't it?
We need a whole vlog on that, don't we, Paddy? Whole vlog on that.
If the results don't go well, mate, pressure starts to bear. And I wouldn't put it on the manager. It then comes back on the owners yet again. And keep these protests going. The 1958 lads, brilliant. Support them. They're doing a great job. Get behind them, mate, and keep the protests going at Old Trafford. You know what I mean?
Big up to Matthew Bassett in the chat. He says, big up Matt, Paddy, Brush, and everyone in the chat. Gareth is like, Ole. I pretty much agree with that. Has favourites. Mumble, sure. Paddy, we're laying the foundations on a squad rebuild. There's still a lot of deadwood at the club.
Yeah.
He agrees with you on that. Henderson's confidence masquerades his ability. Agree with that?
Yeah, I think he thinks he's better than he is.
Yeah, exactly. Delusional.
Yeah.
He thinks he's a Roy Keane, doesn't he? I always think he thinks he's like that. He's looking up to Roy Keane, but you'll never.
Yeah.
Is De Gea family still living in Spain?
I think so. I think his missus is over there, isn't she? So yeah.
She's a singer, isn't she? She's a singer, if I remember. Or she's a broadcaster. I know if I remember that.
One of the two.
I've stayed quite near where he used to live in Madrid. It's outside the city centre. It's quite close to the Atletico Madrid training facility, or the old one it used to be anyway. I'm pretty sure they might have moved that now. But Yeah, real nice place, real cool and chill.
Matt's
He still
comment:
does-
this goalkeeper looks decent. The one at Porto, Diogo Costa. He's 22 years old. He's Portuguese.
Brilliant.
Okay. Anything else about him? He must be good.
He's one of these modern day keepers that people like to rave about with regards to coming out and sweeper keeper and distribution and all that stuff. So he ticks those boxes.
And he takes and Ten Hag likes that, doesn't he? His system.
Yeah, he likes that. He likes that. It would be more suited to his style and what he wants to do, playing out from the back and that.
Thanks, Matt. All the scouts from the Bundesliga and the league are going to watch this show now and just stealing from us.
Hope not.
We should have kept that a secret. Anthony Herbert, big up, Matt, and the panel was winning for you guys on Sunday. But look at this way, you good in the second half, and you can say you won that half too.
I mean, the thing is, I think, Man City took their foot off the gas in the second half, which is what we have to remember. But obviously, there were one or two very small positive signs. I like the fact the changes were made and that made a difference. So that's something, I guess.
And you're right. I think Gary Neville pointed out to me Pep Guardiola won't be happy with the fact that he conceded those goals second half.
Yeah. But they've been conceding a lot this season, Paddy. They held 3 against Newcastle. They let in a few against Palace.
Yeah, Aston Villa.
They can be got at. The one thing that I was really disappointed by is the fact that they were missing Rodri, and we didn't take advantage of that at all.
Yeah, there you go. See, we didn't have that belief because we haven't got the quality to play against these. Because
that, I mean, he's amazing, that Rodri. So the fact that he wasn't there and we couldn't capitalize, I was gutted.
They got possession, trying to get them off. The possession they have is fun. Trying to get the balls up when they got possession is terrible. You chase forever. They'll pass you into next year.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Jack Grealish had a blinder of the game.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and that's why Dalot is not the quality. And I keep saying to my pals at MUF Agenda who disagree with me massively, Brush, you were on that call. They were going, "Oh, Dalot's this is Barcelona bound. He's not Barcelona. It's Barcelona bound." For a flight, maybe.
We did say, Paddy, that listen, it's been 6 games.
He's world class. He's not world class. He is low standard. He really is.
I'll ask you one more question, guys, before we end up. It can be a quick one, and I can't really put my finger on who I'd pick. But who was the best payer? Who was the best player versus Man City? Who was the best player? Well, that would be Man United, wouldn't it? Who's the best player versus Man City for Man United?
I think Anthony.
Yeah, in terms of impact made, it would have to be Anthony or Martial. I don't think any of them others can hold their heads up after that performance.
None of them, except for Anthony. The only one who got the goal. Yeah. Wouldn't Martial? Okay, he got the goal. I won't give him any plaudits. I'm sorry. For me, he's history.
It is in terms of a cameo appearance, though, Paddy. Like, you can't do more after coming off the bench.
Yeah, no, I would knock him. If I look at the bigger picture with him, I'm sorry, he's done, and I won't see it back with him.
Yeah, but he won the penalty as well. He took it well. He was in the right place for the other one. Yeah, so in terms of coming on, he's made an impact. I can't ask for any more than that.
Yeah.
Definitely Anthony Martial. I'd say if you had to pick somebody next, it would be because of the goal.
Yeah, Anthony, because that goal was sublime.
Something out of nothing,
Yeah. One area of concern, Sancho, I thought was incredibly poor. Yeah. He was non-existent in the game.
He has not been the same player left Dortmund at all. I've been there when I've been down to the games and watched him. He goes on the ball, steps on it for a couple of seconds, knocks it back, then does again, knocks it back. Whereas, where's the final bit? That he should be doing that, and he's not at all. He is disappointing. Brush is correct.
Yeah, that one. I was really let down by that one. But,
can I also go on and Brush? You want just the topic I've put the captaincy at Man United now. Bruno Fernandes for me is not the captain of Man United. He doesn't have the qualities, and also watching him in that game, he moaned and groaned and whinged and moaned again. He will not change. He will not change, guys. He will not change at all.
Yeah, and we saw the hero balls and that as well. Instead of trying to do the simple things.
Yeah,
it's the same issues. Yeah. But the captaincy's a bit of a strange one, Paddy. At the moment, I don't see any out and out candidates.
None. No.
Yeah.
None whatsoever. We haven't got a leader in there at all. I thought Might give Martinez time. He's still he's a battler and a leader, but he's not. He's going to give it time. And Casemiro again is a leader because he has done that for Brazil and for.
But these guys, they need to be bedded in and they need to be there for a while, don't they?
Yeah,
you can't just hand it to them straight away.
No, you can't at all. But I must say, for me, Bruno Fernandes. I'm sorry, mate. I'm really going off him massively. Whinged and moaned last year. He's back to the same old hit this year. Needs put into a room and told. You know,
I don't like a goalkeeper to be captain, but I would just give it to him for now until we choose somebody else, just because he's been there the longest and he's.
I think the trouble is, Matt, that anyone that we choose, they're all sort of short-sighted ones, aren't they? They'll just be for this season anyway.
But you've got deluded Maguire, and there's no disrespect to him, nothing personal, never is with him because we keep going about him about his mental health and stop having a go with him. I'm sorry, mate. He keeps saying to himself, I am the captain of Man United, and that is it. I mean, if he leaves, he'll still say, I am the captain of Man United. And you're not, mate. I'm sorry, don't start that. You're deluded as well. There's a few of you deluded. You go to a doctor and get that deluded. I don't know, go somewhere else and just get weaned off the delusion you've got because it's balmy. He still thinks I am the captain of Man United. I know he's been given the captaincy, but just get it off him. Come on, mate. Let's let go of it now. Come on. Give it to someone else.
He doesn't want him to have the captaincy. I agree. I feel it. The RTL Football Podcast, big up. Thank you for tuning in. Smash the like, share, subscribe if you are watching. Thank you so much, everybody that has tuned in. And Anthony Herbert says Martial was his man of the match for United. City, best player was probably, I think, between two people, Haaland and Phil Foden. I hate to say it, but they were phenomenal.
Foden was brilliant. Yeah, Foden was fantastic.
Yeah.
Hurts, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We're going to wrap up now, ladies and gentlemen, because there is Champions League games on tonight. Unfortunately, we're not in it, but it's still taking interest. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Smash like, share, subscribe if you can. Paddy, Rush, thank you for joining us once again. We will be back next week if you do fancy coming on. Hopefully, we can talk about some wins.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Hopefully, it'll be better next week.
Fingers and toes. Paddy, where can we find you, mate, on social media?
I'm on Admiral MUFC, Patrick Silk at 11. I'm JFK K-Pod as well for the other things I do. So you can find me on there, mate, on Twitter.
Brilliant. Cheers, mate. Brush.
You can find me on Twitter at Brushy87, all capitals. Aside from that, I'm just about in the community. So you'll probably catch me here. Tune in. Like, share, and subscribe.
Cheers, Brush. Thank you very much. Brilliant show as well. I really enjoyed it. So thank you guys for coming on. RTL quickly says they got some Norwegian guy. He's quite good. Was we talking? Is that for goalkeepers? Maybe.
No, he's on about. Is he talking about? Haaland,
no.
Oh, right.
Ole, I don't know. Oh no, they got some Norwegian guy. He's quite good. Maybe you are talking about Haaland. Maybe you're talking about laughing about Ole's. Could be our next manager. No, that wouldn't be good. You need a bastard in your side, and that can be a captain. I like your thoughts, Anthony. Very cool. Okay, everybody, we're finishing this now. Take care, everybody. We'll see you again, I think, for Guns from All Corners this Friday, Anthony. Let me know about it. Until then, take care.
Take care.